Bay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabric. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Shop WashableSofas.com for up to 60% off site-wide, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hey, listener. Velo Plus is the new pillowy soft nicotine pouch available in 7 flavors and 6 and 9 milligram strengths. Get your taste buds a-tingling. Register at Velo.com, that's VELO.com, and save $3 on a can today.
Underage sale prohibited. Nicotine pouches. Velo Plus is a synthetic nicotine product. Website and offers restricted to age 21 plus. Copyright 2025 MBI.
K-Fire at 819, Guns of the 701. Clay Peterson, how are you?
No, pretty good. How we doing, Todd?
Oh, doing fine. So a deputy's kid manages to get the gun, and now the gun control crowd is bound to use Florida State and what happened yesterday as their reference point. What do you tell them?
I tell them to go pound sand, but you know how I am. But, you know, it's funny. It's the second shooting in the Florida State University in 10 years. They're not telling you that. So, and that perpetrator was shot dead by the police in 2015. Now we have a new one, which is it sounds like a deputy sheriff's son. And he also had Trump derangement syndrome, as far as I'm concerned, participated in a lot of things. They tried to spin that earlier, saying he was a right-winger and that he was part of Turning Point. Well, it's not true, of course, after you start digging into this. And he actually, you know, he was part of protests of President Trump taking office, had a lot of left-leaning ideology. His Facebook page has been taken down now since, but if you were like me and got on there earlier, you were able to find all that stuff that this guy had problems, obviously. I mean, he even made a comment to the Florida State University News. He said, these people are usually pretty entertaining, talking about people like us who support freedom and the Constitution, usually not for good reasons. This guy's a political science major. He also said, I think it's a little too late. Trump is already going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and there's not really much else you can do unless you want to have an outright revolt. That's his quote.
Oh, boy.
So, you know, again, it's not a gun problem, not a Second Amendment problem. It's a mental problem. This kid, I don't know what happened in his life. There's no details really coming out other than that he was, the son of a deputy sheriff who, get this, he was a long-time member of the Sheriff Office Youth Advisory Council and also engaged in a number of training programs. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he had any signs of it, but a lot of times these people don't. They just, something flips in their head. I don't know if it's because of, the liberal ideology you see so much on campuses today in universities that, that put this in people's heads. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but obviously he had issues, and it's sad. It's tragic, especially coming up here on the Easter weekend. I don't know what else to say other than that. You got to pray for the family. And it ain't guns. It isn't the Second Amendment, and it isn't the guns' fault.
Well, that's just it. And even President Trump has said that too. It's not a gun problem; it's a shooter problem. It's it's a person problem.
It's a person problem, and like I said, I don't know this kid's background or history. I imagine that will come out at some point.
Oh, sure.
But when you looked at his social media, comments, you could tell he had a leftist ideology. There's no doubt about that. And, that stuff got pulled down pretty fast.
Well, it seems like most of the real fringe left is not necessarily likely to have a gun and shoot a bunch of innocent people. So I hate to blame an ideology so much, but obviously there was something going on with this because like you say, the Trump derangement syndrome, that thing is, pardon any pun not intended. That does tend to be a trigger.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to correct you on one thing. If you go look at all these shooters, and I'm talking, take a history of them, most of them were part of left-leaning organizations.
Well, I'm not saying shooters aren't leftists, but go look at most of the people, just the vast people on the far left. They tend to be far too wimpy to ever.
Well, it's kind of hypocritical for them to actually use a firearm to do things because they want to take them all away. So
right.
There is, but most of them, as a majority, don't act on it. Just like you take the other side on the right, most of us don't act on what probably should happen when we see unconstitutional things taking place. We try to actually have a public forum, or we try to talk about it first and take that route. But there's always those people that flip a switch, and what makes them flip that switch, I don't know.
No doubt. Clay Peterson Guns of the 701 here on K-Fire 823. Governor Kelly Armstrong signed Senate Bill 2137, a victory for private property owners and hunters.
Absolutely. I thank Kelly and Governor Armstrong for doing that. And essentially all this did was supplemental feed you can put down on your private property. Always have been able to. You just couldn't hunt around it for some reason. The Game and Fish thought they should tell us as private property owners that we couldn't do that. And if you read what the amendments were in this bill that got attached to it out of the House at the urging of Porter, then you can absolutely see that they were trying to restrict setbacks on property lines. It could have even been construed that if you put in a food plot, like a lot of people do, to feed the wildlife and take care of them, that you couldn't even hunt over that, which could be a small stand of corn. I mean, it was insanity. And now we're going to have a 4-year trial on this to see if we were right or if Game and Fish was right. And thanks to Dusty Backer and his crew, because they made this happen. Now you may do it. And we're going to have a great experiment here over the next 4 years. This does sunset, so this will be revisited again. And that was a pretty decent compromise. Let's see where this goes and see if it really does spread CWD or doesn't, because I don't believe that it spreads it any more than what it already is happening. And they've got a very, very small result of cases. And there's a whole bunch of stuff we don't have time to go into on today's show. But I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a good thing, and it was a victory for property rights owners, no doubt.
You also had Bill 2155. This will change how landowner gratis tags are allotted and be a slap in the face to private property owners. What's going on?
Oh, I think it is. So the gratis system was set up decades ago for property owners to be able to apply before the general draw in any season, whether it be deer or pheasant or not pheasant, deer or turkey or antelope. Your big game seasons, essentially. And you could get this free of charge. That's an interesting term in itself. To the landowner, they could get one if they wanted one. But there's a lot of restrictions on a gratis tag. You have to, of course, prove you're the owner. You have to, and if you're just leasing that land, then you have to buy the general hunting license. And you have to specify which pieces of property you're going to hunt. It isn't like you get a free tag and you can hunt the whole unit. It's specifically to your property. And if you want to hunt your entire property, you have to list each and every parcel that you want on there and want to use that for. So if you own 150 acres in the state of North Dakota, you can apply for it. Well, now with the antelope season, led by, unfortunately, Senator Sean Cleary, right there, Bismarck, and the backcountry hunters and anglers who are not our friends in hunting and angling, they led this fight, and essentially there's going to be 50% of all antelope tags that are available in a unit are only going to be available to the landowners. And it'll create a landowner lottery, much like the elk season is now. And you'll have to put in your name, and if you're not drawn as a landowner in this gratis lottery, it's a separate lottery, you won't get a tag to hunt your own land. And that's not how it was promised. That's not how it was intended. And if the numbers are that low, guys, if they're that low, then maybe Game and Fish should shut down the season. If numbers are that low that they have to go to this extreme and take away a promise from landowners, then maybe they need to just close that season till numbers come back. It's that simple. And I urge Governor Kelly Armstrong to veto this. And I know the numbers were pretty significant in both chambers, but we can have that battle and urge our reps and senators then to vote to uphold the veto. So that's what I would urge everybody to do today.
Back to the Florida State situation, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think anything will end up happening to the deputy who's son?
I don't. It's pretty speculative right now. I mean, I imagine that she didn't do anything wrong. She has firearms in her house just like you or me or anybody. Florida's laws are similar to ours as far as how storage goes. So I don't know how she could be held responsible for that, but I don't know the background right now. So it's a little early to speculate on that. But knowing what we do know, I don't see how she is the issue. I really don't.
I don't think she's the issue, but I got a feeling that there's going to be a groundswell of, well, if she would have blah, 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 then this wouldn't have happened. And you got to have a scapegoat. For every bad thing that happens, there's got to be a scapegoat. That seems to be the way it goes. And
we saw in Michigan, we saw parents that were held responsible, and it shouldn't have been that way. But they're in jail today because of their child.
That should scare the living crap out of all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you don't have kids, in which case you're okay then, I guess.
Blue state, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me in a state like that. But I think in Florida, I don't think there's going to be any fault to the deputy. But like I said, I don't have enough information to really know that. But based on what we know, probably not. It's just a bad situation. And honestly, I'm bet you she's grieving as much as the
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure she's quite horrified right now.
Absolutely. She probably is wondering, where did I go wrong?
Exactly.
So we want to just keep all them people in our prayers, absolutely.
Absolutely. She's going to be punishing herself far more than any of us would be. So.
Yes.
Clay Peterson Guns in the 701. More coming up.
It's Mitchell in the Morning. K-Fire 550.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature.
It's like a car radio right on the app.
There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts.
I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/generate. Terms and conditions apply.
K-Fire.
North Dakota ag and livestock exports slowing down to start the year. And starting next year, North Dakota will have a new law in place covering local zoning restrictions for animal feedlots. Todd Mitchell, pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Hi, this is Andy Murdoch with Pifer's Auctioneers. Pifer's will offer over 6,000 acres of land at auction in the next few weeks, featuring land auctions in Stutzman, Dickey, Lemoore, Griggs, Wells, Divide, Burke, Burley, and Golden Valley counties in North Dakota, Clay and Norman County, Minnesota, and Custer and Charles Mix County in South Dakota. Also join us for any one of our upcoming April Farm Retirement Auctions in Carrington, Berthold, Drake, Mandan, Voltaire, and Columbus. Full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions can all be found at pifers.com.
K-Fire.
North Dakota agriculture and livestock exports are slowing down to start the year. International Trade Administration data shows that from January through February 2025, numbers dropped by 12% compared to the same period in 2024. The decline, a loss of roughly $20 million in profit, adding the state to a growing issue throughout Midwest states. Starting next year, North Dakota will have a new law in place covering local zoning restrictions for animal feedlots. The bill's passage follows a spirited debate about the presence of industrial agriculture in small towns.
Governor Kelly Armstrong signed a bill drafted in response to discussions led by a task force. Among other things, it was looking to adjust the distance counties and townships are allowed to set between communities and proposed farms with animal herds, such as a dairy operation. Brett Larson helps run a family farm near the Minnesota border. He had opposed the bill as it advanced. In the push to add bigger operations, he worries about his neighbors.
Kind of hate to be told that, oh yeah, by the way, the next 3 or 4 days, you're going to have to be inside because the stink is going to get too bad for you.
The legislature largely held off on controversial changes concerning distance thresholds. Instead, the law allows for the use of an odor footprint tool being developed to determine a setback perimeter. Supporters' sake is local officials' flexibility in deciding what's best for their town in terms of air quality. But skeptics fear it will be inadequate, leading to weaker restrictions. I'm Mike Moen.
And if you're looking to upgrade, one of the largest and most historic multi-general ranches in Nebraska's Sandhills is set to change hands after being owned by only two families since the late 1800s. Spanning over 55,000 acres in Cherry County, the property's listed at $50 million, potentially the highest price ever for a Nebraska ranch. Got miles of riverfront, solar wells, windmills, an airplane hangar. It's drawn interest from buyers nationwide. Some Abbott family members who acquired the ranch over 50 years ago opposed the sale, cherishing its legacy of abundant wildlife and rich natural resources. Todd Mitchell pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
K-Fire, your ag authority.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
K-Fire 550.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. The National Archives is now releasing the classified assassination files on Senator Robert F. Kennedy on its website. The brother of the assassinated President JFK shot dead by Sirhan Sirhan in Los Angeles in 1968 during the presidential primaries. President Trump has ordered the classified files released to clear up enduring mysteries. Secretary of State Rubio in Paris talk says we need to determine if peace is doable between Russia and Ukraine. If it is, we're in. If not, we have to move on, citing other priorities like the direct talks with Iran.
It has to be something that actually not just prevents Iran from having a nuclear weapon now, but in the future as well, not just for 10 years with some sort of sunset provision or the like. President Trump says his first choice is to see Iran live happily without death. America is listening to Fox News.
And now from North Dakota's News Authority, Todd Mitchell, K-Fire Radio News.
Chances of precipitation through many parts of the region through today. Most locations dry over the weekend. Look for it to be breezy and cooler to end the work week, but a warm up for the weekend. For Bismarck, AccuWeather calling for a mix of sun and clouds today. Only 45. Clear to partly cloudy. 24 tonight. Plenty of sun. 61 tomorrow. 34 tomorrow night. 67 Sunday and Monday. Back down to 58 and a little rain on Tuesday. Hunters using the baiting method will be allowed to do so on private.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a concept constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
The best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
At Homes.com, we do whatever it takes to get you the in-depth info on local schools you won't find anywhere else. Things like student-teacher ratio, test scores, and school programs. And sometimes that requires attending school recitals. So many recitals.
That's my son. Isn't he terrific?
Yeah, a real prodigy. Homes.com. Ding dong. We've done your homework.
No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan. Some people plan every minute. No sleep, bus, museum, another museum. While others only plan to take it day by day. When it comes to your finances, a plan is just as important. You can count on Credit Karma to give you the insights you need to understand your options, so you can take charge of your financial path and find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download the app today.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny, breezy. High today 47. Clear to partly cloudy, cold tonight, low 24. A sunny, mild day tomorrow, the high 60. Clear skies tomorrow evening, low 32. Clouds and sun, breezy and mild on Sunday, the high at 67. Partly sunny, a terrific day on Monday. High Monday afternoon, 65. For weather anytime, check out AccuWeather.com and download the free app today. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Steve Williams.
30 in Bismarck and K-Fire 550. Back with Clay and Guns in the 701 next.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/generate. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you looking to find more fairways, hit more greens, and lower your scores? Then a custom golf club fitting from a Shields certified master fitter is your answer. Learning from the world's top fitters at Titleist Performance Institute, Callaway Performance Center, and the Ping Proving Grounds, we're equipped to fit you with the right clubs to make your game more consistent. Go to shields.com/expert fitting to schedule a custom fitting today.
This year, you gotta go to the Twin Cities Auto Show. Hundreds of new vehicles all in one place. You gotta go to the auto show to see the electric vehicle neighborhood. You gotta go to the auto show to see the Subaru Loves Pets display. You gotta go and see Constance Nunes in person.
Go to the auto show.
April 11th through the 13th and the 16th through the 19th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Sponsored by Quick Trip. Buy tickets online, no added fees. TwinCitiesAutoShow.com.
Pets can have allergies too. Right now at Chewy, get 40% off your first auto ship order of select allergy relief meds. Trust Chewy Pharmacy for the effective allergy relief meds your pet needs to stay comfortable. Shop now at Chewy.com.
K-Fire 550, Dakota Mornings, Michael Bell up to 9. Meanwhile, Before we get back with goes to the 701 here, Clay and I were talking about, among other things, Wendy's actually burning Katy Perry. Katy spending that 10 seconds or whatever it was in space. And so Pop Crave puts up a tweet with Katy in the spacesuit. Harry Perry's return from space. And Wendy's, God bless Wendy's, can we send her back? Wow. I got a feeling somebody at Wendy's corporate's going, who in the... You're fired. Somebody's fired for doing that, unless that was the top of the food chain.
Well, maybe we're finally seeing things turn the corner where we're not going to cave to all this crap that when you say the wrong thing, you offend someone. No. You know what? We're going to go the other direction. Why don't you go back to space? Have a nice day.
That's just it. I mean, you're gonna suddenly become a household name because you spent a few minutes in space after we just had a couple of people, one of whom was a woman, because this was an all-women's thing with this little space trip. But we just had a woman in space for months and months.
Yeah.
Who had a bad hair day every day because the hair,
What I love about that, too, is that it took a guy with a private company, with a private ship to bring him home. He got it done.
Yeah. Elon is terrible. Elon is the devil. Elon is Hitler. And yet, Elon brought him back. Is he getting any credit for that? No.
Heck, he probably didn't even charge anybody. He probably just did it.
Well, that's just it. That's just it. It's like, I'm just going to do this thing. Can't somebody give credit where it's due? Do you have to... It's always all or nothing with these people. You can't compartmentalize and say, okay, I don't agree with, let's say for the sake of discussion, okay, I don't agree with Elon's decisions on Doge, but that was a darn cool thing he did to bring those people back. Now, I'm not saying that because I do agree with a lot of the Doge stuff that's going on. But I mean, even if you hate that, can't you just give the guy credit for the great good? Lord knows if Hunter Biden had brought those people back, he would be enshrined in sainthood.
Oh, yeah, except he'd never do that. He's too high on cocaine.
Well, I mean, right, and when you go in a spaceship, you go up high. So who?
Yeah, so he might be riding.
Right around 420 too.
No, it's like you said, give credit where credit's due, and
exactly
as a whole, we really don't.
Most other private citizens that would spend their own money and say, look, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to get these people back for you. And you know what? Don't worry about the bill.
Yeah.
I think the nation would be grateful.
Yeah. I said, it took a private guy who said, you know what, I'll step up to the plate, and that's with anything. And he got it done. And you know what? That should be commended. I don't care if you're left, right, whatever it is.
Right.
If you do that right thing, that's the way it should be.
I think anybody who can build a better NASA than NASA probably ought to be listened to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he just outspaced NASA.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Russians are going, wait a minute, who's this guy?
And I'm sure he did it with way less money than what NASA would have spent.
He's
very efficient at what he does because he's got to actually make money.
Exactly. But at the same time, obviously, he's willing to do the right thing and go, I've got the capability of getting them back. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get these guys back.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I have Starlink. That's what I have for internet at my place because I don't have really any other choice if I wanted something fast. But Starlink, which he created, and I think he operates that at a loss. I can't understand why it's probably not taking over. I know that it's being used more and more, especially in rural areas. But, I mean, that is fast internet. It's faster than fiber right now. And
well, how many times have we heard about disasters going on like Ukraine and whatnot where they don't have service or out of service? Oh, I'll get Starlink over there for you. Hang on. Just like it's nothing.
He did it, though, in North Carolina when the hurricane went through.
Yes.
Made sure people had those.
Well, in Asheville with that whole thing, out in the west, the western part of North Carolina, too. There were wiped out with the floods there. It's like, you need internet? Sure, I'll get Starlink up for you. Hang on a sec.
It's
nothing.
Starlink. And it's competitive even on the market with any other internet provider if you want that kind of speed, which I love it. You have these times where it goes down, but you have that with the other service providers too.
So does the guy get credit for having done all that stuff? Because, like I say, every time there's a disaster and they're out of internet, guess what? You put Starlink out there, like, the rest of us hand somebody a couple of bucks and tell them to go get a sandwich.
We're going to have to look into Elon Musk and see how pro-gun he is now. I bet you he's changed his mind on a lot of that too.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, because it doesn't help that his whole crowd has abandoned his original crowd, has abandoned him.
I can tell you this: he's been great for us as Guns of the 701 on X because they haven't censored anything we've done over there, and they're not throttling things back and shadow banning us like over on some of the other platforms are still doing. But on there, we've had zero issues, and that's been great because we're not used to that. Usually we were getting banned left and right and things taken down. And so I'll give Elon that. Whether he believes in what we do or not, our kind of stuff, he definitely believes in freedom of speech, evidently, because he hasn't done anything to our platform or our format.
All I know is the same crowd that was insisting you go get keys to a Tesla are busy keying Teslas now.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's like, can you not compartmentalize just a little bit better than that?
My suggestion to Tesla owners, especially in deep blue states, exercise your Second Amendment. That'll take care of that. That'll take care of that.
So now we've seen everything. Now we're going to get everybody on the right in EVs to support Elon.
Teslas are fun to
After
drive.
the left was busy trying to get us into the darn things, and the right was saying, no, you don't. Now it's going to switch. Which I think is freaking hilarious.
Drive, they're not really where I live. They're not practical at all. It just
this is it. If I got to drop and run to St. Paul, especially maybe on a great day it'll have a 500-mile range on one of them. All right, fine. Maybe. But what happens in the wintertime is 25 below, 30 below, and I got to make the drive. I'll guarantee you that range is down. I got to play it safe. I got to do an internal combustion engine. Well, guess what? The whole automotive industry is coming back the other way now anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Every company that said by 2030 we're going to get rid of the internal combustion engines going, not so fast.
Well, it's just the stuff. It's not there yet. And you know what? That's a whole other subject. I do like electric motors because they got ultimate torque and ultimate efficiency, but we have not perfected the idea.
Hey, Schwann took me out there 0 to 60 in 3 seconds in a Hummer HV, right? Mammoth mobile. And you know what else I discovered? My body cannot handle 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. All my life, it was 0 to 60 time was what made the decision. Now I know there isn't such thing as I don't need to go that fast. It's incredible.
At least it isn't like what they did in the Air Force, where they dropped a bear out at 35,000 feet out of a jet bomber. See, I had to tie that in there.
Well, hey, I got a few quick things here because we're starting to run out of time, and I'm sorry for gobbling up your time with all this today. But armed bystander ends a shooting at an Easter egg hunt in Mississippi. I don't think you're supposed to bring a gun to an egg hunt, but maybe you need to.
Well, it looks like it's a good thing someone did. Yeah, down there in Gulfport, Mississippi. And, they're doing a good thing. They had the families out there. They're doing their Easter egg hunt, celebrating Easter. And evidently there was a domestic dispute, and, it turned deadly, unfortunately. And the church leader himself actually got killed in this, but a 24-year-old degenerate, deranged moron named Tyron Dion Gable, he got an argument with the mother of his child during the event. It escalated pretty fast, and he pulled out a firearm and opened fire. Again, here, what caused this and this guy's head to snap, we'll never know. I mean, really. You got to be in a certain mindset to snap like that. And unfortunately, it wasn't a good thing. Deacon Eddie Shedd, he's the head of security for the church. He was fatally shot, unfortunately, during this when he tried to intervene, and he died at the scene. And then a second church member who tried to assist also got injured. But during this whole thing, there was a patriot evidently in the crowd, a guy like me or Jamie or anybody that, believes in their rights was carrying. And he took this into his own hands when I investigated this a little bit more. We don't know who he was or she. Could be, we don't know. They didn't say. But the bystander who was carrying, he protected people, and then he took the situation into his own hands and saved a whole bunch of people by basically shooting this guy. They got him. He was taken to a hospital, the shooter. I don't know the status, but they did charge him with first-degree murder and aggravated assault. And then there's a $250,000 bond on this guy. So he's not probably getting out anytime soon, and that's good. I would imagine there's enough witnesses down there that seen it happen that this scumbag probably be taken off of the streets. And it's sad that one person did lose their life in this whole thing. But the guy was apprehended, a good guy with a gun. He took care of the situation, and we're thankful for that. And, that's kind of where we're at down there.
Let the record reflect it was on April 18th, 2025, that Clay, on his very own, said he or she, because it could have been. I didn't have to get on there and go, wow, I could have been a woman. Nope, Clay did that on his own, and I'm proud of him.
You know what? The facts are facts, but I didn't have enough information to determine which one it was.
Lest you think Clay's some knuckle dragger or something like that. No, he's a great guy. He really is. Now, that said, if you ever shake Clay's hand, be careful.
I'm pulling all these cabs, right?
Where'd you get those hands, for crying out loud?
I don't know.
Good Lord. Those aren't like human hands. You went out and got different hands.
Yeah, probably all them years of wrestling, you had to have a good grip ring to defeat your opponent.
I think you managed to pull that off, because he's got the most... Well, you know what they say, big hand. Never mind. All right, so Guns and 701 video, new stuff when?
Yeah, it'll pop up right away on gunsand701.com, on all of our social platforms. Check it all out. We're on Twitter, X now, X, and Fascist Book, YouTube. Just check it all out. The YouTube channel's been taking off pretty good again, and we want to thank everybody, because without them, we don't have the sponsors, and we can't make this operation run. So everything will be up there. And, of course, we want to thank you and K-Fire for putting us on and having fun every week. And, of course, get iHeart, best place to find us every single time.
There you have it. And I'm just not going to sing the praises of X for one particular reason. I don't want my former wife to think she's going to be able to use it against me. See? See, he says nice stuff about me. No, I don't.
I gotta wish everybody a happy Easter.
Yes,
go out there and remember why we're celebrating this weekend. And I'll be heading off to our Good Friday services today, and then, of course, Easter Sunday we'll be enjoying the resurrection. So.
Okay. Well, you have a great and safe weekend. You take care.
You too. Thanks, Todd.
All right. Dakota Morning's Michael Bell coming up after 9. But first, a quick couple of birthdays here, because not out of time.